If you run a 3D printing business or any online store, then you probably know how frustrating shipping can be, especially when dealing with labels. If you're still using an inkjet printer, then you're probably dealing with paper jams, expensive ink, and delicate labels. But there's a better way: thermal printing. Now this video isn't sponsored, but Munbin reached out to me to see if I wanted to try out one of their printers for free to show you guys how much of a game changer they can be to your business. And because I have a special kind of hate for my inkjet printer, I said hell yeah. So in this video, I'll show you the huge difference between using an inkjet printer versus a thermal printer in both quality and speed. I'll also cover the cost savings you can expect. I'll be going over the different label types you can use, the common setup issues and fixes, and maintenance tips so you can keep printing fast and reliably. Plus, I'll show you how this printer can do much more than just shipping labels. It can print custom stickers for branding and even barcodes to help organize your inventory. So let's get into it. So here's the typical process I have to go through whenever I use my inkjet printer. As you can see, it struggles to feed paper. So I have to manually insert each sheet every time I want to print something. And as you can see, it is extremely slow.
One eternity later.
So once I move into the 23rd century, I fold the label, tape it carefully, avoiding dust, cardboard fragments and hair, only to realize a piece of hair has indeed gotten under the tape because apparently I'm shedding, and the only way to fix it is to remove everything and start again. So then I have to print, fold, tape, all over again, only for it to look kinda crappy. And here's the process with a thermal printer. Shortly after I click print, the label is printed and ready to go. All I need to do is tear it off the printer, peel the label, and stick it on. Here are the two labels side by side, and I'm sure you can tell which one is which. Each label will hold up to a bit of bumping around during transit, which is good, but when it comes to water, it's a different story. If I didn't tape the label properly, or it got damaged and then rained on, the paper would start to disintegrate. With a thermal label, no matter how much water got on it, it held together nicely with no smudging of the ink because it doesn't have any. So if thermal labels are so much stronger and the printers are so much faster, surely they're more expensive. Nope. For my inkjet printer, it cost me $38 for 300 labels, including ink and paper. For a thermal printer, it cost me $17 for 350 labels. It's literally half the price per label plus zero ink costs. Now there are two different types of labels to choose from: roll and fan fold. Fan fold labels are my pick because they're self-stacking, easier to swap, and they won't roll away. Roll labels will work too, but they can be a bit messier if you're printing a lot. If you want to keep things a bit more organized, you can also get one of these label holders from Munbin. Just pop on the sides and the back and you're good to go. I did originally print one, but I wasn't really happy with how it fed the rolls. Plus it was a bit too big, so I just got the Munbin version. It looks nice and sleek, plus it works great for both label types. Now using the printer is pretty easy. In order to load the labels, open the lid, adjust the sliders to the position where they're loosely holding the paper, as pushing them in too tightly can damage the labels. Move the label to a position just before the sensor, then close the lid. Now gently push the labels in until the motor takes over, and it will adjust the label to the perfect position to begin printing, without any wasted labels sticking out the front. Now you can hook your printer up to your computer, install the drivers, and restart your computer. If you have a Mac, I'll leave a link in the description that you can follow for this process. Now shipping labels are typically 4x6 or 102mm by 152mm, but these can vary slightly depending on where you get your labels from. Some labels will be advertised as 4x6, but will actually be 100mm by 150mm. And if you're trying to print with the 102 by 152 setting, then you'll have an extra label coming out every time you print something. So make sure you check the exact measurements on your label, and if you need to make a new label type, just open your printer preferences, go to page setup, press new, and enter in the exact dimensions of your label. Once this is done, make sure you select this new label size in whatever program you're using, and your labels will come out perfectly. If your labels are coming out a bit faded, all you have to do is print them in color instead of black and white, and this will solve the problem. One of the most useful features of a thermal printer is the ability to print barcodes for your products. This is especially helpful if you're selling on Amazon FBA, stocking inventory in a local store, or just need better organization for your business. Now there are two different types of thermal labels: direct thermal and thermal transfer. Direct thermal labels are ideal for short-term barcodes, such as those used for shipping or temporary stock tracking. These last for about 6 to 12 months before fading. Thermal transfer labels are for situations where you need your label to last a few years, but they can only be used with thermal transfer printers. They use a ribbon to make long-lasting prints as opposed to a printhead that burns the image into the paper. But for what we're using it for, a direct thermal printer will be just fine. Now you can use free software to make your barcodes if you just want to keep track of your stock locally. But if you're selling your products on Amazon FBA, then you'll need to get them from an Amazon approved website like GS1. Otherwise, you can just make them from within the Munbin app. So once you have your label size selected and entered in your barcode information, do a test print to make sure it all looks good, then enter in the amount you want printed and out they come. So this printer doesn't just do shipping labels and barcodes, but it also does stickers. I used to buy a 23 pack of thank you stickers for $12, which adds up fast. And because it was so expensive, I just stopped using them entirely. Now I can print 500 custom stickers for $23. Plus, I get full control over the design and the text and the colors of the stickers. Now Munbin's app includes thousands of free templates that are pre-made and ready to print. This saves you time on having to design them yourself and makes the whole sticker printing process a lot easier. You can also custom design your own for holidays, branding, or even fragile stickers. So once you have your design locked in, select how many you want and print. Now if you're having issues with your labels coming out a bit blurred or smudged, it's very easy to clean the print head. All you have to do is use some isopropyl alcohol and a Q-tip. Rub it along the print head a few times, wait for it to dry, and that's it. Just make sure you have the printer turned off during this process. If you want to pick up one of these printers or any of the shipping labels, I'll leave links for them in the description. Thanks for watching, arigatou gozaimasu.